Monk mode in day trading. The 7 rules that you're gonna have to follow. No bullshit. Write down everything that I'm telling you, and write it, put it on a wall, and just listen to it no matter what. Follow the rules. Literally, even if it essentially almost gets rid of you. But be a man of your word. Why is this so important in day trading specifically? If you're saying you're gonna follow rules, if you're saying you're gonna do this and do that, you better do it. That's literally all it is. If I say I'm going to follow a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio in every single trade, then I'm going to do that. If I say I'm going to follow my model every single trade and wait for a perfect setup, then I'm going to do that. Being a man of your word is so important, and essentially it's not just in day trading, it's in life in general. If you are going to say that you will do something, you tell another man, hey, I'll get this done for you by the end of today. You have to follow that all the way through. And this is just very basic manhood. You being a man of your word will make you or break you as a person, essentially. And if you keep breaking your word, you are going to be untrustworthy. You can't even trust yourself. And this is important day trading, because trusting yourself day trading essentially is everything. And it's a lot more than that. If you're saying I'm going to become rich by the end of the year, you better have become rich, because I know for a fact you are very capable of doing that. Because let me ask you a question. If I asked you to become, if I came up to you, hey, do you think you can make $1 million by the end of the year? You would probably be like, nah, bro. But then if I asked you, could you make $1 million with your mother's life on the line, and you have to do it legally, you would come back and you would be like, of course, bro. Are you serious? I can make that $1 million. And let's say we did that analogy specifically in day trading. You would still have the same answer. So essentially, the only thing that you're doing wrong is that you do not have the discipline, and you don't want it bad enough. Because if you wanted it bad enough, you would be a man of your word. Now, next thing I want to talk about is NoFap. Why is NoFap so important in day trading? Now, this is very controversial, but in my opinion, NoFap is so important because if you're doing lustful things, creating simulated stuff in your mind that aren't even essentially real, what is going to happen is that you're building fake confidence. Fake confidence is bad because you will have something called what is it? It's called the Kruger effect, where you overestimate yourself in every single thing you do in life, or underestimate yourself. But in this case, you're overestimating yourself. You think you could pull any woman that you want because you have the simulated intentions in your head, and you're doing it in your bed lustfully under a couple blankets. It's all fake. Don't matter. That is what NoFap does to your brain. It builds fake confidence. And then when you come into the market, you will be taking stupid setups. You'll be like, you'll have the confidence. Well, you essentially, when you're doing the lustful things, you are in your head. You're like, I can get whatever I want whenever I want, right? Because whenever you need to do it, you'll just go on your phone. You will look up what pH, and you will do it. Same thing when it comes to trading. You'll feel like that you could enter any trade confidently, building overconfidence, and then when you actually enter the trade, you'll start to lose that confidence, which is another thing that when it comes to NoFap, is that when you're building that fake confidence, it's not even real. So when you're actually in the trade, you're gonna start experiencing FOMO and greed. So literally cut this out, and you will be a much profitable trader. The next thing I want to talk about is gym 3 to 5 times a week. And gym could be what? Let's say you have sports or something, and you want to play 3 to 5 times a week. That's good. You want to have external habits, because external, internal. I always say this in a lot of my videos. External, internal. External habits correlate with your internal habit of trading. If you have strong external habits, you will become a good trader, because small things, what they build up over time, making you a stronger person, which means you could actually follow the rules that you're giving yourself. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you do that every day, and then essentially when you go on the market, you'll be like, I'm gonna wait for a liquidity sweep, and then I break structures to enter my trade. You will actually follow that, and because you have the proof of that, and you've done it before of following rules and being disciplined, so that way, again, this is why this is so important. But then also, you becoming stronger, looking more handsome, is a good thing. You know, when you become rich, you don't want to look like a dork, right? You don't want to look like some stupid idiot who's fat and what is essentially just ugly, walking around with a whole bunch of money. Nobody cares about that. Like, okay, you have a whole bunch of money, but still, you want to show that you are an overall built person who has experienced life, who has gone through the pains and struggles of going from fat to, and I was fat. I was really fat. I hated my life at one point. I was extremely fat. And what happened is I threw up one time, right? Threw up, and I told myself, I'm literally gonna stop eating a whole bunch of junk food. I went on my own monk mode. Told myself I'm gonna cut out all sugars. Told myself I'm gonna cut out all fast foods, and I did that. 2 years later, I'm in a good state now. I came back to those habits, though. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have to build away those habits, and essentially all it is that I follow my rules, follow my mug mode. I would trade every morning, and now look, I went from some broke idiot who had nothing in his life to a successful trader who is in a pretty good shape. I have abs, I have a good chest, and I have a decent thing. I did pure calisthenics, right? You don't have to go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym a lot. I would do pure calisthenics. At the time, I was like 14. I didn't have access to a car, and I didn't even have. I was too broke for a gym membership, and my dad didn't even believe that I was gonna actually go to the gym. But I told him that. The next thing we want to talk about is cut processed food. You have to understand that everything that you put into your body is going to it's going to affect your mental side. You constantly eating bad foods and doing stupid things is going to essentially make your brain have a brain fog. I don't know if you've ever heard of brain fog, but that is what's going to happen. You building brain fog is going to keep you unprofitable and keep you what? Dumb. And you have to cut out this processed food because it removes that brain fog, helping you think a lot straighter. If you're constantly being constipated, hurting your stomach, and I've been through all these struggles, and sometimes I still do, even though I eat pretty healthy food, it's just that I have a pretty weak stomach. You won't get the good sleep quality. You won't have a good schedule, and sleep quality doesn't even matter. Just brain fog in general is going to keep you a very like overall what's a good word? Like confident and simulated. I don't know if simulated was a good word, but just a strong man in general that is able to think straight, know his rules, and essentially become a overall better trader. Next thing we talk about is journaling and backtesting. Journaling is going to build a lot of your knowledge gaps because when you write down a trade and you say everything that you did wrong, you a lot of the time you're going to notice the gaps in the mistakes that you made during that trade. And if you keep doing this, you will stop making those mistakes. And essentially, the market, I always tell people this as well, is a mirror image of you. When you enter a trade, you are looking straight back at yourself. And if you're entering a trade off of being impulsive, off of being an idiot, then again, it's reflecting on you. It's showing exactly what type of person you are. So when you go back and journal those trades, you will be like, why was I doing this? Why am I this type of person? I have to fix my habits and essentially just build into a better person. And journaling is just overall a good thing because it's like journaling has always been a good thing in anything. When you're doing something, always journal. You will build good habits that way. It's a good habit in general. Backtest. Backtesting is so important. If you have a strategy, you really have to understand the strategy thoroughly. It doesn't have to be a perfect strategy, but essentially what backtesting does is it builds your confidence in that strategy. Your strategy that you're using doesn't really matter. You can flip a coin and become profitable off that with the good risk management and all that. But the problem with the strategy itself, and I just dropped my thing. Let's switch the marker, or actually just pick it up. All right. So let's try what being confident in your strategy does is helps you like build a strong foundation in your own confidence where you're gonna be like, I know this trade is gonna go through. I know this is gonna happen. Even if it doesn't go through, I followed my rules, and that's what backtesting does. It builds your knowledge in your own model, so that way you have distinct rules, so you don't enter a stupid trade every single time. And overall, it just makes you more profitable. Understanding market psychology, understanding how candles work, where institutions are genuinely entering, and a whole bunch of stuff. Next thing I want to talk about is meditation. You again, brain fog is a big thing, but another thing that you could do to get rid of that brain fog and be able to just be mentally aware is meditate. Meditation is going to keep you just overall a mentally vulnerable guy who is aware of what is going in his life. If you are just constantly entering stupid trades, you don't know what the hell you're doing with your life, you're begging day trading to work, and day trading is the only thing that's happening in your life, you will get overstimulated. And essentially, what happens when you're overstimulated is you won't be able to keep track of your mistakes. You won't be able to literally just focus. You won't be able to be a person that is going to follow his rules and be a man of his word. What meditation does is it helps you calm you down. You sit down. Meditation comes in different ways. For example, I'm Muslim. My meditation comes in a way where I pray. You know what I'm saying? For you, it could be the same thing. If you're a different religion, could be you praying. That's your type of meditation. Calms you down, calms your soul down, and just essentially washes your soul to be clean and just come into the next day, into the market, being fully ready. Meditation is such an important thing because, again, it just makes you very vulnerable about everything, and you essentially understand at a much higher level what you were doing wrong half the time with your trades. So, meditation, you want to do that, right? Next thing we want to talk about is follow a distinct system. If you are saying, I'm going to enter a liquidity sweep, break structure, whatever, I don't know, for example, my strategy is external range liquidity. In short, I call it ERL. You can check my other videos on it. It has over 70% win rate. And I teach in my Discord, join my Discord, guys. But yeah, if you, again, I'm just gonna like those out there. If you want to actually become profitable, join my Discord. I so much more thoughts in there and about how to actually become a profitable trader. ERL though, what is it? External range liquidity. That's my distinct system. I follow every single trade, makes me profitable. For you, your distinct system could be different. Even SNR, support and resistance, can be essentially profitable if you have a good system, because support and resistance itself isn't gonna just keep profitable. Honestly, it's like a pretty bullshit system, pretty bullshit strategy. But following a distinct strategy will help you build a strong discipline in trading, help you follow your rules better, and essentially make you a profitable trader. Now, if you follow the monk mode that I just gave you to become profitable, I guarantee you, you will be profitable. Right? Batman. And another thing I want to talk about and involve this, and I really like this from Imam Ghazi's video because I know this video is actually inspired by Imam Ghazi. But Batman went into a cave, I think, or he went and traded somewhere for about a year, learning a whole bunch of different skills. You need to do the same thing in trading. To become profitable, you have to shut down your mind and accept that you cannot go out and do a whole bunch of things to become profitable. You have to really just understand that trading comes from you, what? Being ready, getting ready to focus, and then once you understand that, you'll become profitable. But yeah, join my Discord. I'll catch you guys. Love you, boys. Take care.